Take a second and think about it. Do you ever feel like you're just caught in a current, being pulled along by events, feeling kind of powerless? We've all been there. It's this almost universal feeling that life is something that happens to us. Well, this whole explainer is about taking the pen back and starting to write your own story.
And this right here, this captures one of the biggest misconceptions about karma. We tend to think of it as some cosmic judge, right? A system of punishments and rewards. We see life through that lens. On the left, just a chaotic storm of random, unfair misfortune. It feels like we've been dealt a bad hand and we're just the victims in some cruel cosmic game.
But the reality over on the right is a total game changer. See, karma isn't a judge handing down sentences. It's more like an active mirror, and it reflects our own choices back to us with perfect clarity. It shows us that we are the architects of our own reality, not its victims. The world isn't happening to us, it's responding from us.
This quote just nails it. It's not about what's fair. It's about consequence. When you look back, so many of the hardships and betrayals we face, they often trace back to our own decisions. To those moments we chose control over compassion, or we chose to avoid a tough conversation instead of being accountable. And that's the big takeaway here. The power isn't out there somewhere. It's been inside you this whole time.
So if karma is a mirror, how does it actually work? Well, it's not magic. It's a feedback loop, and it's governed by 5 interconnected principles that are constantly, and I mean constantly, shaping our lives.
This whole feedback loop is built on these 5 things: love, suffering, conflicts, reciprocity, and conscious living. Each one flows right into the next, weaving this incredible tapestry of our experience. So let's break them down one by one so you can really see how they show up in your own life.
First up, we've got love. And you can think of it like a boomerang. It's pretty simple. The energy you put out is the energy you get back. I mean, think about it. When you genuinely just sit and listen to a friend's problems without judging them, you're way more likely to have someone do the same for you when you need it. It's like a natural law of emotional physics.
Next is suffering. And look, this isn't about random punishment. Not at all. Suffering is actually a teacher. It's almost always a signpost, pointing to something inside of us, an attachment we're clinging to way too tight, a resentment we're holding on to, or some past action that's still unresolved. It's an invitation to look inward and finally heal. This iceberg metaphor is the perfect way to see how suffering works. The pain we can see and feel on the surface, the loneliness, the conflict, the broken relationships, that's just the tip. The real causes, the heavy stuff, are the invisible roots below the surface, deciding to stay quiet instead of having an honest talk, or clinging to an expectation instead of accepting what's real. When we finally see these roots, we stop being victims and we can actually start to heal.
Third, we've got conflicts. And these act as an inner mirror. The clashes we have with people out in the world, they often just reflect our own unresolved tension. For example, if you walk into a room feeling really insecure, you're so much more likely to hear a totally neutral comment as a criticism. The real conflict wasn't in the comment, it was in your perception, just mirrored right back at you.
The 4th principle is reciprocity, which is, it's pretty much the golden rule. Think of yourself as a farmer planting seeds. If you generously invest seeds of kindness, integrity, and goodwill, you are eventually going to reap a bountiful harvest. And it often comes back in ways you would never expect. And finally, maybe most importantly, is conscious living. This is the breaker of cycles. See, these karmic patterns aren't set in stone. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, we can absolutely break free. Take someone who struggles with a short temper. They could start a daily meditation practice. It might be just 5 minutes. But over time, that little practice transforms their reactive anger into patience, which completely changes their energy and starts attracting more peaceful experiences.
So where do all these principles play out on the biggest stage of all? Our relationships. They are, without a doubt, the ultimate mirror. They reflect back to us our strengths, our wounds, and all our patterns, with what can be painful, but always valuable clarity.
Let's look at this marital mirror. Picture this. On one side, you have a husband who's carrying around guilt from his past and a deep fear of failure. On the other side, a wife who's feeling insecure and just longs for some reassurance. So what happens? A painful clash. Both of them are desperate for connection, but they're not acting from a place of love. They're reacting from their hidden burdens, from a place of fear.
And this is exactly how that clash escalates. It starts with something small, a little discomfort you just brush off. But then that discomfort turns into hurt. If that hurt doesn't get talked about, it becomes offense, which makes you defensive. And then, finally, you hit level 4, triggers. And this is where a tiny little comment causes this massive, outsized reaction because it's not about the comment anymore. It's tapping into a deep old wound.
So, how do we stop this climb? How do we stop the escalation? How do we turn this lead into gold? Well, we become a relationship alchemist. And every good alchemist needs a toolkit.
Here are 6 really practical strategies for that toolkit. Let's just touch on a couple. So, active validation. This isn't just hearing what your partner says, it's repeating back what you heard to show you get it. Like, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you felt abandoned when I stayed late. It proves you're really listening. Or how about empathetic pausing? This is a superpower. It's taking one single deep breath before you react and asking yourself, what might they be feeling right now to say that? These are the tools that turn understanding into real action.
And one of the most powerful ideas behind all these tools is a simple concept from Dr. Dan Siegel. Name it to tame it. Just the act of putting a name to an emotion, a fear, or an old wound, it drastically reduces its power over you. It pulls you out of that reactive, knee-jerk state and into a conscious, clear response. At the end of the day, the goal is a healthy partnership, right? And healthy love complements you. It's like 2 whole circles that overlap, creating something new while still keeping their own shape. Unhealthy love, well, that consumes you. It's where one circle just gets lost inside the other. And the most important thing to remember is this: you should never, ever have to erase yourself to keep a relationship.
And all of this brings us to the final, and I think the most empowering idea of all. You are the architect. And your real power isn't somewhere back in the past or way off in the future. It's right here, right now.
Now, to use that power well, we need a solid foundation. And that foundation is built on these 5 pillars: our health, our financial stability, our connections with others, our sense of purpose, and our inner peace. When we actually take care of these things, we can stop chasing some future idea of happiness and start appreciating the life that's unfolding for us right now, in this moment.
This quote from Sadhguru: "This is everything. We can't control what happens, we can't control other people, but we always have a choice in how we respond. And that choice, what you make out of what happens to you, that is karma. That is your power."
And when we really embrace that power of choice, we unlock what we've been looking for all along. As Osho says, joy is the function of life. It's not some far-off destination you have to earn. It's right here. It's in this moment. It's just waiting for us to choose it.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Every morning you look in a mirror. But from now on, I want you to look into the mirror of consequence. See the reflection of your choices, your energy, your intentions. And with the full, complete knowledge that you are the architect of your own world, choose wisely.